At the time I record this video, I've been working in the health space for more than 6 years, and I helped top 1% entrepreneurs, professional athletes, and myself to live a healthier and happier life. So here are the biggest lessons about optimizing health and performance I learned along the way. At the beginning of my career, I remembered working with a guy who was running a finance business, actually pretty successful. But he was massively overweight, and he never made the turn until one day when he received his blood work from his doctor. The doctor told him, "Alex," that was his name, "you are at the threshold of diabetes. You will have a few weeks until we have to start using insulin." And the moment he received this message, everything changed. During the next weeks, he finally started to take his health serious and dropped pound after pound of body weight. What brings me immediately to the first lesson: start with why. If you have a powerful reason to change something, to stay healthy, to be able to play with your kids, to stay attractive for your spouse, or to push your business forward without burning out, everything becomes much easier. To show you the second lesson, we now spin the time back to when I started my own health journey. At that point of time, I always started a new exercise program, started a new diet, a new routine, but I always lost motivation after a few weeks. And it went even worse when I started my own business, because then willpower was even more limited. After a 10-12 hour working day, I couldn't motivate myself to go to the gym. So I just ordered some food for delivery and went to the couch. And this changed when I just started to implement small habits in my daily routine. Instead of going to the gym every single day and do a 90-minute brutal workout, I just started with 45-minute sessions 3 times per week. Instead of completely quitting sugar and starting a radical diet, I just changed my breakfast and still had some sweets in the evening. And instead of committing myself to a 12-step morning routine, I just committed myself to do a 5-minute meditation in the morning. And these small habits led to a complete change in my entire lifestyle after a few weeks. So the second lesson: don't rely on motivation, start with small habits. The next lesson is so powerful, I discovered it at a nutrition seminar. Imagine in this in-person seminar were 30 people in the room. Most of them personal trainers, nutritionists, and physical therapists. And the dean asked, "What is a healthy diet? Please define it." And many of the so-called experts try to define what actually a healthy diet is. But after a few attempts, the entire group realized that it's not possible to define. So whenever someone tells me nowadays, I try to eat healthy, I always ask, what are you optimizing for? For example, if you want to achieve 6% body fat, you have to eat a certain way. But does that mean that's healthy? Not really. So the lesson is, there's no such thing as a healthy diet. Always know what you want to optimize for. When I opened my own gym, I had to run everything by myself. Get clients, run the session with the clients, run the ads, clean the gym, etc. So honestly, I was running on energy drinks and coffee the entire day. In result, my sleep was terrible and I experienced huge anxiety and panic attacks. And it was until the holiday when I decided to stop drinking caffeine for at least 1 complete month. And after just 1 week, my anxiety got way better and I didn't need that much caffeine. So I realized it was just a vicious cycle. So right now I drink no more than 1 coffee per day, but I always have days where I get completely off the caffeine. This makes me get more benefit out of the caffeine at all, if I want to increase my work output or if I want to increase my performance in training. So big lesson: sleep is the new coffee. As someone who is working in the health space and really taking care of what he's eating, taking lots of supplements and exercising regularly, I still thought that I was doing pretty good and had a good level of health. And one day I decided to go deep into analyzing blood work and decided to get my own blood work done. And I remember it was on a Friday evening, I received a call from my doctor. My bad cholesterol was too high, I had little bit elevated blood sugar, and my thyroid hormones were pretty low. So obviously I made huge mistakes without realizing it. So the moment I started to receive my blood work, I also started optimizing more effectively. So the fifth lesson: get your blood work done regularly. Because only then you know what is going on inside your body. Which directly leads us to my next lesson. Because the more I watched YouTube, read books, attend to seminars, the bigger my shopping cart on Amazon get with full of supplements. But after I received my blood work, I asked myself, why are you taking this exact supplement? Because I was reading somewhere that it has some benefits, but I didn't know what I was optimizing for. So now I take and recommend supplements just for a specific goal, reason, or issue in the blood work. And not just because someone told me that this supplement is good. So lesson number 6, stop taking random supplements. Well, you may have realized that there's so many conflicting information about health, the right diet. Jordan Peterson claims that the carnivore diet, so just eating meat, has cured all of his health issues. On the other side, Brian Johnson is strictly vegan and has one of the best biological parameters for men in his age. And I realized this lesson when I first made a so-called gut health test. At that point, I was thinking that steak and eggs were the source of optimal health. So I was eating sometimes 8 to 10 eggs in the morning, and sometimes even grilled a steak for breakfast. Yeah, really. But at the same time, I experienced more and more digestive issues throughout the day. So I researched about so-called gut health tests. And after I made it, the results showed me that I don't tolerate that much of eggs or red meat in total. So yes, even if these foods provide a lot of proteins, healthy fats, and important nutrients, it was just not optimal for my body type and my microbiome. So the 7th lesson is listen to your gut. And that's the reason why I now include gut health tests with my clients to identify these specific needs and then create a personalized protocol. When I started working with entrepreneurs, I noticed something really weird. Oftentimes they were kind of overweight, or at least carried a little bit of belly fat around their waist. But when I observed what they were eating, this was actually not possible because they were eating so little calories. During my study, I got told that if you eat less calories, you lose weight. And also in our society, we got always told that eating less is better for your health and your waist. But the truth is, these entrepreneurs simply destroyed their metabolism by eating too little. Most of them skipped breakfast, sometimes even didn't have lunch, and relied on numerous coffee. And yes, many influencers will tell you that fasting is good and has so many health benefits, but especially entrepreneurs who experience higher levels of stress and working the entire day screw their health when they don't eat regularly. And I've seen with many clients that if we increase the amount of high quality food, they lose fat, they get more energy, and they feel less stressed throughout the day. Because if you're an entrepreneur, you're a business athlete, so you need lots of nutrients to perform on a high level. You gotta get at least one of these lessons a shot and let me know in the comments. And if you want to have a step-by-step process to get your health and performance to the next level, then watch this video next. Because there I'm gonna show you how to optimize your sleep, diet, and routine as a high-performing entrepreneur.